So it has been around 2 weeks since LegendsCon finished up, and I had the great honor to go to get to meet so many friends and great people. But so many great videos have been made from Son of Luke, Magneto Alex, so many good videos from Only Good Games. I've just kind of sat back and kind of been mulling over the experience as a whole, kind of just like letting my thoughts simmer for a while and trying to digest it, because it was a whirlwind and it was crazy. And so I feel like I'm a little late to this rodeo. All of the LegendsCon recap and reaction videos have already happened, but I have 3 LegendsCon videos planned talking about the event that we'll be uploading in this week or in around the next 2 weeks. So I'm a little late to the party, but I've just kind of sat back, finished off some video ideas I was working on beforehand, and just been waiting to like kind of let it all sink in. But I was really inspired by my good friend who I met at the event, Only Good Games, Sebastian. He had a absolutely great video where he showed off all of the items that he got signed at LegendsCon. And so I thought that was really great, and I wanted to do my own and show what I got signed at LegendsCon. So huge shout out to him for the idea for the video. Go check his video out. It'll be linked in the description, and make sure to go check his channel out. Because he got some really cool stuff signed. He got like the Hasbro short stories, some insider stories. He got some really cool stuff signed. I got things signed by, I think, every person there except Henry Gilroy, whose arm got injured. So I had my copy of Sith Hunters and a couple other Clone Wars novellas, but he wasn't signing because he had injured his arm. And so I was unable to get his signature, and I didn't have anything for Shia Standoffer either, or the guy who played Boba Fett in the like special edition. Didn't have anything for those guys, but other than that, I think I got something from everyone signed. I'll try to go in a rough chronological order, but as it's been a little while since the event, my memory's already getting a bit fuzzy of the exact order of events. I've recapped it several times to folks, but my memory's a little cloudy of the exact order. In fact, what I'm holding right now is not the first thing that I got signed at the event, because the first thing I got signed at the event was by one of my closest friends at the event itself, and this is an unofficial book, The Ultimate Chronology by Noah Gabriel Berlip. This is Quality Autism, the YouTuber. The Ultimate Chronology, Noah Berlip, and you'll notice he's German. If the name didn't say it, then this face will. He's a German guy, and so he wrote the book in German. And it says Noah is a self-declared author from Germany. This is his first book. Then we have these amazing quotes from Christopher Nelson and Matt Wilkins. What a genius literary scholar. My brain was leaking out of my ears. I was so shocked at what I was reading. But this is essentially a chronology of the expanded universe from after Return of the Jedi all the way back until... I think he has Storyteller in here as well. Yeah, he has Storyteller in here. And so in the front, you'll see who it was translated by into English, and it says, The Ultimate Chronology, Noah Gabriel Simon Berlip. Visual English translation by Ken Palpatine. He was also there. I really wanted to get Ken's signature as well, but I just ran out of time. He was only there on the first day, sadly. It was great to meet him. I wish I'd had a pen on me at the time. It was edited by Marcel Ryan, the Revanchist, and Greyholm Labrin. Greyholm's another great friend of mine who I would really like to get this signed by someday. Our remaining credit goes to Noah Berlip of Quality Autism Press, who put in the hard work and effort to create this extensive chronology for all Star Wars fans, EU or otherwise. And so I'd like to get Noah's signature here, and Greyholm and Ken's signatures down along here as well. But there's the first one. My friend Marcel, the Revanchist on YouTube, so go check him out. Marcel Ryan signed this, and it's a really nice signature. He did a really good job with this one. And so he signed this copy for me while we were sitting there on the Friday evening. So that's the first book that I got signed at LegendsCon. The next signing was Barbara Hambly, and it was Children of the Jedi and Planet of Twilight. Now, in my video where I talk about meeting all the guests, I'll talk a bit about what we talked about while the signing was happening. She was very sweet, and to Brennan, best wishes, Barbara Hambly, for Children of the Jedi. And I think it's the same thing for my paperback copy of Planet of Twilight, which has seen better days. To Brennan, best wishes, Barbara Hambly. Very nice. She was really dear to me, but I'll talk about that more in a later video. Again, my memory, though, is quite hazy of the exact order of events in which things were signed, but I believe that my next stuff that I got signed was from the one and only Randy Stradley. So I had brought 3 graphic novels to get signed by him. First of all, this epic Kindle collection, and Randy Stradley likes to sign the covers, which is really cool. So he put Brennan, Loyalty Never Dies, which is, of course, Crimson Empire, Randy Stradley 2023. This epic collection has all 3 Crimson Empire runs in it, so I was really grateful for that one. And then one of my favorite comic series of all time is, of course, Dark Times. And so we had an awesome discussion as we were talking about it as well. I got mine signed right after Marcel. He was right in front of me. And it says, Brennan, curse you, Das Jenner. Randy Stradley 2023. Which was great. I love the personal touches he put on it. And we were talking about Bomo, and I can talk more about that in a later video. When he signed this, so he said, Brennan, Bomo lives, Randy Stradley, because we were huge fans of Bomo. So I thought that was super cool. After that, I believe I got to meet Abel GPSina. And Abel GPSina was a outstanding guy. He just exuded coolness, and he was so kind. And so I got a couple things signed by Abel GPSina. And Marcel and I approached him together because his novella Skywalkers was never officially printed. So we had brought Lulu prints for Skywalkers. This is the print that we took. It's a mass market paperback, so sized the same. This was his novella, and we were worried that he might get kind of frustrated if there was a Lulu print, but apparently it sounds like other people have done it as well. So Marcel and I approached together with our copies, and we had a 3rd copy that we gave to him. It also has Lone Wolf, which I told him how much I love Lone Wolf, but again, I'll talk more about what I talked about with the authors at another time. And we talked to him for a while, though. For a good long time, we talked to him, and Michael Koki joined our conversation as well. He was sitting beside Mr. Pena. And here is what he wrote. Brennan, Waru Paru Garu, so saith Zeta Magnus. Of course, some deep cut expanded universe lore references there, which I was super excited about. And then I also got signed Vader, The Ultimate Guide, my copy of Vader, The Ultimate Guide. Supernatural Encounters editor Kyle Rawlings is a super good guy. He also brought his copy of Vader, The Ultimate Guide to get signed by Mr. Pena. And this is just a really unique piece of expanded universe content. He signed right here in gold on the first page. Brennan, believe in your gifts, Abel GPSina. Very nice. And his stories in here are The Path of Evil and Vader Tech. So they're a little ways through it. You might remember this because I did a little unboxing video in preparation for LegendsCon where I unboxed this rare piece of EU for that video. So you may recognize it. I was super excited to get that one signed. But Abel GPSina was also selling a book at LegendsCon that is a LegendsCon exclusive. Legends Never Die, The Interviews, Abel GPSina. It's a collection of his interviews at the con. And it says it's a LegendsCon exclusive on the back. So super cool. And so he signed this one for me, but he signed it on the second day because I'd forgotten to get it signed the first day. So I got to talk to him for a little while with Magneto Alex on the second day, and he signed it for me. You have the passion of a Sith and the soul of a Jedi. Really cool guy. It was an absolute privilege to get to talk to him. But back to the first day. Right after getting this stuff signed from Abel GPSina, I got this signed from Michael Kogi. And Michael Kogi was one of my favorite people to talk to at the con. I talked to him on both days, and he is just one of the nicest people I've ever met. Star Wars Adventure Journal, this is issue number 3. And this is quite rare nowadays. And he has a story in here that I really love, that Michael Stackpole uses the basis for his Back to Wars novel. And Michael Kogi's written numerous things in like Gamer Magazine, Insider Magazine, and so some people were bringing some of those up to get signed. And I think he's written more new canon short story material as well, so there were a couple of those being brought up to get signed. But he said this was the first time he ever got this one signed, which was really cool. And he was my age when he got this published, because they were taking submissions back in the day. So he was 17 and submitted this and used all the money that he got from them publishing it to buy 10 copies of this, which is so cool. That he, held on to, gave away to friends, stuff like that. So I love the adventure journals. They're so cool. I'm only missing 3 from my collection right now, and it was so cool to have the opportunity to get one signed. He put, "To Brennan, the force is strong in you," and we talked about writing, and so he says, "Write, Michael Kogi." I really love this signature so much. It's right on the page of his story, The Business of Bacta, which is an absolutely incredible story that I just love. The world building, the Vratics here, all of this stuff is so good. I absolutely love it. And what was cool is, as he was flipping through the adventure journal to sign it, he was stopping at all the other short stories and talking about how much he loved them. Truly a fan of the expanded universe, and a really, really good guy. I hope he'll be at the next one, because I'd love to get to talk to him in person again. After that, I believe the next thing that I got signed was Supernatural Encounters by Joe Bongiorno. And in the video that I just published the other day, I showed off the different copies I have of Supernatural Encounters. But there were 2 copies that were LegendsCon exclusive with different covers. It's going to be hard to get this all in the screen because it's so thick. But on this, and I'll try to be careful, in the bottom here, he signed it, "To Brennan," and I can't make that one out through here. Oh, "The Guardian of the Flame" from Joe Bongiorno. He's a super nice guy in person, as many of us who went to the event have talked about, and it was so awesome to get that signed. And the contributor copies were signed as well, as you saw yesterday. Here's what I'm reading right now. My bookmark's in here. My twin son's bookmark, which is another cool thing from the con. And then it says, "To Brennan, the Lore Keeper, Joe Bongiorno." Very nice. And this is the Star Dragon edition hardcover. So I'll slide that one over here. And I'll lift this one over here, trying to be careful with all of this. Okay, so after getting my Supernatural Encounters copies signed, I believe directly after that is when we got to meet Michael Stackpole and Sean Stewart for signings. And I had a comic book for him to sign, and I had 2 of his novels. I love the X-Wing books so much, and it broke my heart, but I wasn't able to bring any just because I love his New Jedi Order works more, and because I am a huge fan as well of his comic books. And so I believe I was with Marcel, because I took a photo of him with Stackpole, and we got these signed. And he had some X-Wing stuff, I think, for him. So Dark Tide 1 Onslaught. And it's here. "To Brennan, best wishes, Michael Stackpole." Very nice. I like how all of these authors had like a little personal touch to put on here. And I think he put the same thing here. "To Brennan, best wishes, Michael A. Stackpole." Very, very nice. And then I had him had this for him to sign as well. "The New Republic." This is volume 2. I wanted to bring volume 3 as well, but I didn't want to bring too much. As it turns out, some people were getting every novel he'd written signed. So I wish I'd brought the other Epic collection, but it says, "To Brennan, Michael A. Stackpole," signed in here. And this contains his X-Wing run that he wrote for Dark Horse Comics. I believe that's all that's in this volume. Yeah, just all X-Wing stuff and a couple Tales stories. But yeah, mostly just X-Wing stuff in here. Very, very cool. And at the same time as we got to get stuff signed from Michael A. Stackpole, Sean Stewart was there at that table. And I got my copy of Yoda Dark Rendezvous signed. It says, for Brennan, Sean Stewart. I really like his signature with the big cursive S. Very, very nice. Sean Stewart's an absolutely amazing guy. And so I believe that was everything I got signed on the first day except for these two, which after the panel Authors Geeking Out, which was probably my second or third favorite panel of the event, but I'll talk more about that in a later video, I got these signed by Daniel Keyes Moran, who was one of the authors who worked for these short stories. And so he wrote 3, so he also wrote one for the Tales from Jabba's Palace, but that story he was so unhappy with because they edited it. I believe Mr. Kevin J. Anderson edited it in a way that was so unfavorable to him that he didn't feel like it was his vision anymore. So he had a pseudonym put in. So to avoid some potentially bad memories, I didn't want to bring that copy with that story. So I only brought the ones that he had under his name because I didn't want to bring back some bad memories, you know. But he signed this for me right at the end. He only had 15 minutes before he was leaving to a restaurant, and then he was catching a flight that evening. But he was kind enough to stop and take a photo with me and sign my copies here. And we had a conversation about writing Boba Fett and then writing Labria. So it says, Daniel Keyes Moran, nice to meet you, Brennan, smiley face. I really love that. This, of course, being the first, Boba Fett story material ever written in the EU, which is a great achievement. And he also wrote the Deveronians for the way that they are for the first time and established Deveronian culture, which they'd keep consistent in the EU for decades to come. So he really had an impact with this story, because every time a Deveronian showed up, they were based on the way he'd first written them in this story, which is really cool. And he knew that as well, because I brought that point up to him, and he was like, oh yes, it was really cool, because it was an open sandbox when I was writing it. But yeah, I'm not finding this one. Where is it? What page? I have to look in the table of contents here. And here we go. Right here. Daniel Keyes Moran, smiley face. Empire's Blues, the Deveronian Tale. And he really enjoyed writing Labria here, which was so super cool. I liked his little smiley faces that he put. Then on the second day, I first got to meet Mr. Matthew Stover, one of my top 3 favorite authors in the EU. This is my tied for favorite book I've ever read. In addition to this, I got a hardcover of Revenge of the Sith signed for one of my in real life friends who's appeared on a couple of my, well, not appeared on, but commented in some of my streams. He goes by Husky Wolf on the stream comments. And then got a hardcover of Shadows of Mindor signed for my really good friend Greyholm to give him at some point. And so this was the only one I got signed for Stover because I wanted to make sure that he'd sign those. Didn't know if there was a limit for how much you could get signed and stuff. So where is this signature? Oh, here we go. I knew I'd gotten it signed. Okay. For Brennan, everything I tell you is a lie. Of course, the amazing quote from Vergier, Matthew Stover. And it was so great to get to meet him, and it was nice he put some care into the signatures as well. I think he did something unique for everyone, which was really nice how all of these authors kind of did that. After that, I got to have the pleasure to talk to Miss Karina Beko, one of the 2 authors of Legacy Volume 2. And so I only have 2 of these graphic novels so far, so I decided I'd get these signed. This is 2 Outcasts of the Broken Ring and 3 Wanted Anya Solo. And I didn't love this run as much as the first Legacy run, but it's still super solid. It's great stuff. And we got to talk about the direction she had wanted the story to go. So Karina Beko and Karina Beko. Very nice. And maybe someday I'll get to meet Mr. Hardman as well. And get these signed by him as well. After that, I got to meet Jason Frye and talked to him a bit and told him how much I loved the Essential Guide to Warfare. And so he put to Brennan, remember, the Force will be with you always, Jason Frye. I like his little unique signature here. Very, very cool. And then I got the Essential Atlas signed, which I actually bought there at the con. It was the last one he had there. Daniel Wallace and Jason Frye. And it says he spent time for Brennan. If you ever get lost in the galaxy far, far away, this book will get you home soon, is what I believe that says. Jason Frye. Very nice that he took the time to do that. Very, very cool. All of these authors were so cordial, so nice, and it was great to get stuff signed. And finally, I got Mr. Craig Miller to sign Star Wars Memories. And I'd bought this copy a couple weeks prior, and I've read through bits and pieces of it, and it's a really cool book. And so I was glad I'd had it beforehand. And it says, for Brennan, the Force will be with you always, Craig Miller. Very, very nice. So, yeah, that's all that I got signed at LegendsCon. Thank you to Only Good Games for inspiring me to do this video. And thank you to all the authors for being so nice and for signing all of this stuff for me. I really appreciated it. I don't know if any of you were watching, but I appreciated how cordial all of you were, how just super nice, super genuine, and you guys put so much care into it. And these will always be treasured, priceless items in my Expanded Universe collection. So thank you to all the authors who did a fantastic job with the signings for so many people. So many people were getting their stuff signed. So to anyone who was at LegendsCon, let me know in the comments, what did you get signed? And to anyone who wasn't at LegendsCon, let me know what you would have gotten signed if you had been there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.